Morning, everybody. It is September 12th, Sunday morning here, early, little after 7:30 in the morning. And I'm going to take care of a few chores around the house, and then I have to head off, get gas in my truck, and head off to the studio for the last day of Susanna Hoff's recording. We had a great day in the studio yesterday. We got 4 more tracks. I think it's going to be a double, or we're cutting 2 albums because we got a lot of stuff. I think we did the first weekend we got 14 tracks, and then we got 4 yesterday, and I think we have 2 or 3 to do today, and that'll be it for the basic tracking. But really, it's coming out great. I mean, she is an absolute delight to be in the studio with. Her energy and excitement and enthusiasm for what she does is palpable, and the band's great. And it's always a joy to work with Peter Asher in the studio, and so we're having a great time. And I'm going to head off and do that, and just we were all sitting there reflecting on yesterday. The studio is not too far from Pepperdine College out here, and they had a big, huge function there. Apparently, somebody had told me that one of the administrators or one of the teachers at Pepperdine College was one of the people who died in 9/11, and but they have this big, massive lawn in front of the school, in front of the college, and the entire thing was covered in American flags. I guess there was a flag for everybody who perished that day. So, and somebody said there was going to be a big military flyover, but we were up in the studio a couple of miles away. Didn't get to see any of that, but I had to drive by it all on my way to work. Just one of those things, boy, you find yourself thinking about it, and it seems like a surreal movie, when you start looking back on it. It's really hard to believe that everything that was going on that day was actually happening in real time. I mean, that's the world of news. There was a time where you were waiting for the Pony Express to deliver the news, and things were maybe weeks or months behind. Here now it's instantaneous. It was like when I was a kid sitting there watching them moving Lee Harvey Oswald in the police station, and Jack Ruby coming up as you're watching TV and shooting him. It's really nuts, the whole thing. But boy, I think the world we live in it's almost so instantaneous. If anything takes more than a minute, people get impatient. No, it's something else. But I'm looking forward to another day of music. It was really wonderful. Yesterday, the wonderful Fred Wallachy came by. Now, Fred Wallachy owned Westwood Music, for family business, for many, many, many years. And he finally sold it, and he has just his own little place that's actually right near Pepperdine College, and just a couple of miles from the studio where we're working. And I have an old Fender Road-worn bass, one of their Mexican-built basses. It looks like a '62 jazz bass. And it's amazing how they build these things. They mess with the finish to make it look used. I don't know how in the hell they tone down like the tuning machines and things like that, but everything looks like it's old, and it's all new. And they're really, really nice basses. But I don't have the name with me because I don't have the bass with me right now. It's still at the studio. But Fred turned me on to a new bridge that he thought I might really like. So he came by the studio and picked up that bass from me, and he picked up Frankenstein, and he took them back to his shop, and he set up this bass to be the neck and action and everything as close to Frankenstein as he could, and installed the new bass bridge on it and brought it back. And man, it sounds really amazing. The sustain is unbelievable on this. And I ended up using it on the last track yesterday, the fourth track of the album, when he brought it back, and it sounds great. And so it's a new toy. I'll be bringing it home today. I'll bring all my stuff home at the end of the session today, and maybe I'll show it to you on next video. But it's amazing how they can do these instruments to look aged when they are new. But sound is really good. So that's kind of cool. It's nice to have something else to play around with, and I've got a couple of things where I'm going to have to travel at the end of October. And I think I'll take that bass with me, because I think 4-string is quite adequate for the two things I'll be doing at that point. And I thought, maybe I'll take that out. It'd be kind of fun to have that. So musically today, I was thinking about what to do, and I had been asked to go this weekend with Lyle Lovett to do a show in the Astrodome in Houston, and I wasn't able to do it. I just wasn't able to do it. But it made me sit here and be thinking about Lyle, and the guys are all down there doing this gig. So I thought I'd go back and revisit a couple of tunes. I've talked about this album before and played some of the songs from it, but there's some other songs in it that I really enjoy. And I thought, what the hell? Let's go back and just listen to a couple of things to start Sunday off. And this was Lyle Lovett and his Large Band album from 1980. God, what was it? I think we cut it in 88, but I think it was released in 89, somewhere in that area. And we did it at Soundstage Studios in Nashville. And when I walked in, I had never met Lyle at that point. And he came walking in, and he's such a striking character. And at that point, he had like really high hair. Everything came in. I just went, dude, this is a cool dude, man. This is going to be fun. And so many things came of that. Paul Lime was playing drums on the sessions, and I had worked many sessions with Paul when he lived in Los Angeles, and then he moved to Nashville. And at one point, we were looking for another drummer for James Taylor, and I had approached Paul about doing it, and he wanted to so badly, but he had little kids at that point. He said, "Look, I just can't go away for the length of time the tours are going to be from my kids." So we never got to tour together, but we did a tremendous amount of recording together. And the list of players on this is pretty amazing. It's myself and Paul Lime, Richard Bennett on guitar, Ray Herndon on guitar, Deschamps Hood on guitar, Billy Williams on guitar, Paul Franklin on steel, Mark O'Connor on mandolin, Matt Rawlings on keys, John Hagen on cello, Andy Laster on sax, and Steve Marsh on sax. And the background vocalists on this are Deschamps Hood, David Ball, Rodney Crowell, Walter Hyatt, Mac McAnally, Harry Stinson, and Francine Reed. The album was produced by Billy Williams, Tony Brown, and Lyle, and engineered by Chuck Ainley. I remember when I finally heard this finished, because we did all the basic tracks, but we didn't hear like all the background vocals and the overdubs and things like that. And it might have been Here I Am, one of the songs. I forget what was the first one I heard that had Francine Reed singing with him. And I called Lyle immediately, and I said, "Who is singing background with you on this?" Francine Reed is just such an unbelievably great singer, and man, she is such a cool person to be on the road with and everything, because we've done so many tours now with Lyle over the years with the Large Band. And it was great. And this was the first time I'd ever met Matt Rawlings, who I've done many records with over the years, but this was our first experience together. And I walk in and I see this guy sitting in the piano booth, at the piano. And at that time, he looked like he was 12 years old. I mean, he was the most youthful guy, young, and he was young. And he started playing and blew my mind. It was like having McCoy Tyner or something. It was like this young body with this ancient soul. And all these guys, Mark O'Connor and Paul Franklin, all these guys are just amazing. And I've worked with so many of them in on their projects, like Rodney Crowell and Mac McAnally, and all this incredible cast of characters. So I thought I would just visit a couple of the tunes that normally don't get listened to, but not that all get listened to, but there's always those couple of songs that everybody relates to on an album, and then there's always those really wonderful songs within the confines of the album that don't get the airplay and all that. So I'm going to play a couple of tunes and then another couple of things to talk about, and then I will head off to Susanna Hoff world. So here we go. This is I Married Her Just Because She Looks Like You. I mean, some titles just are, they send you off in a pretty interesting direction, kind of like the Zevon world. So here we go. Lyle Lovett and his large band.
It's not the word, I'll always love you.
Mark O'Connor.
It's not the words, I wish that I could stay. It's more the way your lips look as you spoke them. How the moonlight fell upon your face. I married her just because she looks like you. And for every time you said no, she says, honey, I'll be glad to. And for every time you left me, she says, darling, I'll be there. It's not the words, will you get over me, that made my dreams come true. I married her just because she looks like you.
Mark O'Connor. Paul Franklin.
Oh, if I had not searched for you, I never would have found her. Oh, and if I had not loved you, I would never have known love. It's not the words, please try to forget, that made my dreams come true. I married her just because she looks like you. And for every time you knocked me down, she reaches out to help me. And for every time you cursed me, she says, darling, I love you. It's not the words, time heals everything, that made my dreams come true. I married her just because she looks like you. I married her just because she looks like you.
That's what I really love. Boy, you get a really great artist, and I really love Lyle. I mean, he's really great. A great song, great musicians, and really great production and engineering. And it's just a joy to listen to me. I mean, just the feel and the clarity and the vibe is really good. This is in almost a very similar vein, but it was like one of those really quirky things to have done on the album. When you take something that was almost iconic by Tammy Wynette and you make it your own. And that's what Lyle did with Stand By Your Man. So here we go. This was really great. This was such a kick when he said, oh, we're going to do that. Let's go for it. And it was always fun to play live with him. So here we go. Stand By Your Man.
Sometimes it's hard to be a woman, giving all your love to just one man. You'll have bad times, he'll have good times, doing things that you don't understand. But if you love him, you forgive him, even though he's hard to understand. And if you love him, oh, proud of him, 'cause after all, he's just a man. Stand by your man, give him 2 arms to cling to, and something warm to come to when nights are cold and lonely. Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can. Stand by your man. Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can. Stand by your man.
I love it. I love it. Singing his ass off on that too, but just it's really great, really quirky and fun. Really nobody quite like him. He's one of the more unique artists I've ever had the joy of working with. And I'll do one last tune. This was how we kicked things off. And there were times we would do this as like an opening number for the tour. And I'll tell you, I give Lyle so much credit. He does these wonderful tours where he would go out with just like John Hyatt and some maybe two or three singer-songwriters, and they would just do like sit on stage together and talk about the writing process and do each other's songs and be involved like that. Then to balance that off, he would do the tours with the large band. And boy, there's few artists out there that would be willing to take, like 15 musicians on the road for the summer. And it gets crazy. I mean, it's a pretty intense scene when you got that many characters all packed into a couple of buses. But boy, when you're on stage and that band is cooking, it's like being on a freight train that's going downhill. It's just like it's picking up speed and power. And I can't tell you what a thrill it is to look around that stage and see the kind of talent that he assembles on his tours. And There's a possibility I might be doing his summer tour next year. He's asked me to do it, and I'm kind of holding him off at this point till we know what the immediate family is doing, because that is still, at this point in my life, the priority thing for me is to really get the band going, and especially after the last week when all of a sudden we look and we've entered the Billboard music charts at number 6 on their blues channel. And I was working with Waddy yesterday and again today, and we both look at each other and go, "So we're a blues band?" But, I'm happy for the recognition. And there's some really great stuff going on several of the XM radio channels that have us in rotation. And we're getting ready to, we're looking at some options for our next video, which we're going to be getting started on before too long, and putting our set together for the tour, and some more interviews that are coming up, and lots of activity. So it's exciting. But I digress. So to get back to this last tune, this is how we would generally open some of the shows here, and it's an instrumental track called "The Blues Walk," since we're in the blues mode here. So here we go. This is Lyle Lovett, "The Blues Walk." Let me get it right back to the beginning. Matt. I mean, it's just, boy, when the band kicks in, boy, it's like a little electric bolt going through the audience on there. Everybody perks right up when you start that tune. So let's see. I'm just trying to think. It's kind of a quiet Sunday. I think I might go out and do a little watering before I leave, because it's going to be another hot day here in LA. I think it was close to 100 yesterday, and it's supposed to be another hot day today. I'm going to get that done. I'm turning off a thing there. And let's see. I guess that's it. Just have a wonderful day today. Just take it easy. If you don't have to really do anything, have a lazy day. And enjoy yourself, your family, your friends. I might make a couple of phone calls. I'm going to send a email off to Phil Collins and Nick Collins and everybody, because they're getting ready, I think, to start the Genesis tour, and I want to just give them all my best for a really great, successful tour. Wish I could be there with them, but that's a self-contained band. But my heart's with all those guys. I adore them, Daryl and Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks and all the crew guys that are out there, and Tony Smith management. It's such an amazing family of people, and so many of the people are all part of, when we do Phil's solo tours. So I miss them all, but I hope it's going to be a great tour, and I hope everybody's safe and sound on it. So I'm going to get going. I am going to send out my daily heart and soul to all of the people working so hard, dealing with just dealing with this nightmare of COVID that we're still embroiled in, and these people, especially within the healthcare and surrounding professions that are really all a part of this, that they don't get their weekends. They don't get to relax with the family and have a barbecue and mow the lawn, whatever they're going to do. They are working in these IC units that are just overflowing with people, and now they say it's more kids than adults in the ICU, which is just absolutely heartbreaking. And the heartbreaking part is most all of this could be avoided. And they say that, like 98% of everybody that's in an IC unit right now suffering from COVID did not get vaccinated. And that's just an incredible tragedy when the vaccination is available to you and free. I mean, it's just something you just go out and get, and you really change the odds for yourself so dramatically. It doesn't guarantee you won't get sick, but it pretty much says that if you do get sick, you're not going to be catastrophic, intubated in an ICU unit. You're just going to feel like crap for a little while, and then you'll be fine. So thank you to all those folks that really have had it on the line for so long now. And there really is still, the light at the end of the tunnel is still pretty far off, as long as people are not taking care of themselves and getting vaccinated, because the more unvaccinated people there still are out there, the more this disease is going to create variants, because you're like a walking petri dish for it. So just get out and get it done so we can have this behind us, because we're never going to be healed until you do. So, but take good care. I'm going to get ready here and take care of a few things and head off to the studio for another day of music with friends. Can't beat it. Can't ask for much more than that. So I'll see you tomorrow, and till then, just take good care. Okay, bye-bye.